18 DF-21DS, 90 miles from Florida. Found by a 0.3-degree mistake. You read that right. A tiny orbital deviation lit up thermal signatures under Cuban canopy and blew the lid off agricultural equipment containers. In the next 48 hours, a three-phase joint plan moved from cyber blackouts to two precision strikes to a ground seizure. Zero time wasted. Today, we break down how static missiles became sitting ducks under high-revisit space surveillance, why the disguise failed, and how speed, not mass, turned a crisis into a demonstration. You'll see the sequencing, the sensors, and the kill chain logic that forced the PLA to rethink. A tiny orbital drift. A burst of heat under leaves. The disguise started melting before a single shot was fired. The cover story looked tidy from a road. Shipping boxes with agricultural logos. A few forklifts, a pallet of hoses, a stack of tarps. The real layout hid just off the dirt track. Leveled pads scraped smooth, crushed stone for fast rollout, and containers parked at neat offsets to break up lines from casual flyovers. Fuel drums sat under shade nets. The logistics chain ran short by design. Local deliveries, small loads, staggered drop-offs. A generator coughed on the hour, then fell silent for long stretches, nursing fuel and trying to stay off the thermal board. But high-revisit satellites don't care about paint or labels. They hunt patterns. They bank passes, stack frames, and read the rhythm under the noise. If you look the same way at dawn, noon, and dusk, they write you down as a system, not scenery. That's where the mask slips first. Thermal told the tale. Soil holds and bleeds heat slow. Metal drinks heat fast and spits it back hard. So when the sun moved, the ground eased through the curve, but the containers snapped between warm and hot, then cooled in uniform steps. Diesel gensets left black body plumes that rose wrong for farm work, short bursts at odd hours that lined up day after day. Radar-absorbent tarps, sold to drink up a beam, flashed tiny specular glints at the same spots every pass as dew and angle shifted. Each signal alone is noise. Together, they sing. The break came from space math, not luck. A 0.3-degree deviation in orbit adjusted the look angle just enough to slip between palm fronds and field edges. That tiny shift changed sun sensor geometry, opened thin windows through canopy seams, and flattened shadows that once hid straight lines. On the next pass, clustered rectangles lit as even tiles of heat. The gaps between them matched. Spacing stayed true across days. That's battery discipline, not farm clutter. The farm ruse failed because life in a depot breeds wrong for war. Real farm sites sprawl, choke on junk, and pulse by season, not clock. Engines grind at dawn, idle through heat, and spike with rain. Missiles live by drill. Shelter doors cycle and sink. Crews run tests on a beat. Power comes on in neat blocks, then cuts. The stack of behaviors narrowed the choice fast. There was a human hum behind the metal. Intercepts caught logistics talk with clean brevity and odd calm. No chatter about broken belts or weather delays. Minimal crosstalk. Then, hard radio silence at the same slice of each day, the kind that matches a training lane or a comms window. Civilian noise is messy. Military cadence keeps time. By now, you've got thermal signatures, pattern of life, and electromagnetic discipline all pointing the same way. The question shifts. It's not about proof anymore. It's about tempo. How fast do you lock it, task it, and pull the thread so nothing moves, no one dumps fuel, and no truck escapes with the data you need? The mini payoff lands here. Physics doesn't argue. Persistent angles and thermal behavior exposed a static, aligned system hiding under farm paint. A net of small signals beat a wall of camouflage. Even the best tarp can't fake heat curves. With identification in hand, doctrine turns to speed. The next move cuts senses, severs voice, and forces every hidden motor to glow on cue. Now the grid goes dark. Before the first bomb fell, the island blinked. The eyes went out. Then the hammer landed. Phase 1 starts with silence. You blind sensors, break comms, and lure out every hidden engine. The grid isn't just a target, it's bait. Take down dispatch nodes, and the power dies in smart chunks, not everywhere at once. Radar sites flip to backup. Diesel screams on infrared. Antennas cough as UPS units hand off to generators. Every hotspot you need lights up on schedule. The clock is brutal. Leave the sensor net intact, and you give time for dispersal, decoys, and a press cycle that can freeze the switch. A static battery loves process fights. It wants you slow, so you cut the steps it can predict. No public warnings. No long build. You compress hours into minutes and make the kill chain a sprint. The cyber play threads that needle. You don't crash the grid, you isolate it. Target the power dispatch nodes that feed the radar belt, not the hospital down the road. Break the sync and comms relays that stitch sites into a picture. Force point defense to live alone for a night. When the breakers trip, each radar farm kicks on its local generator, the one they vowed to keep cold. Heat blooms rise clean. Harmonics on the line jump. Traffic that once hid in a flood now runs as single lanes. You read it. You mark it. You task it. Phase 2 rides that glow. Low observable aircraft cut in under the beam stacks, carrying precision rounds built for arrays, nodes, and nerves. You don't crater runways, you pluck eyes. First impacts strip radar dishes of their feed lines. Second waves clip the comm towers that pass target tracks, the hardened bunkers that hold the brains, and the backup nodes that keep the lights on. The sequence matters. Remove perception before you touch the shooters. A blind launcher is a statue with a timer. Effects start to stack. With the radar chain dark and comms fractured, local command shrinks to pockets that can't talk across valleys. No fused picture. No handoffs. No clear launch window. Crews stare at dead scopes or local-only feeds that show ghosts. They can move, but they can't move smart. They can fire, but they can't fire safe. At that point, even a perfect missile is a guess. Phase 3 hits ground. Special operations elements roll in on a tight raid tempo. Secure the launchers first. Chain the wheels. Pop access panels. Pull data modules and route books before anyone torches them. Cut the fiber in the ground berms. Tag splices for later mapping. And bag every loose drive and node. Crews get moved, not maimed. You want them talking later in a quiet room, not shouting on an open net now. Speed denies scuttle charges. Speed keeps codexes intact. Speed preserves the thing you came to learn. This is the lesson operators bake in. The order is the weapon. Cyber makes the noise that drags the prey into the open. Stealth takes the census. Ground teams lift the secrets and the leverage you use tomorrow. Swap that order, and you trade precision for mess. The mini payoff is plain. Static batteries with no sensor web turn from hunters into steel statues. Speed plus precision shrank a threat ring into a museum piece. You've seen the chain. Next time, you'll track the weak link faster. If you want to think like an operator, subscribe now. Overhead, eyes never blink. Mass looks scary, but latency kills. The side that turns hours into minutes sets the field, forces choices, and writes the outcome. You're the planner now. Comment your choice below. If you had one lever to pull first against a hidden battery, would you cut power, comms, or mobility? Pick one, and tell us how you'd chain the next two. Your logic matters. If this sharpened how you think about sensors, tempo, and control, you're in the right place. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict. Next brief, we drill deeper into denial, deception, and timing.